time to get your nominations in to recognize the young professionals making important contributions to our industry. From the National Business Aviation Association, this is Flight Plan. I'm Rob Finfrock with your trusted source for business aviation news and information. Since 2018, NBAA's annual list of Business Aviation's top 40 under 40 has recognized the young professionals, or YoPros, who are driving innovation across our industry, and who exemplify the qualities that will define the future of business aviation. Nominations for this year's 40 under 40 list are due by June 10th, and if you need any further encouragement to nominate a YoPro you know to this select group, I'm pleased to welcome 3 previous 40 under 40 recipients and current leaders on NBAA's YoPro Council to share how important that recognition has been for them.
I was honored and excited, but also very shocked because, I don't think people ever really expect to be given awards.
Erin Krupp is Marketing Coordinator for Base Operations at Page Field in Fort Myers, Florida, and she was among NBAA's very first group of Business Aviation's top 40 under 40.
The fact that I was selected as part of the inaugural class, it just made me feel like, wow, I'm in my 30s and I'm actually doing something with myself. When you're younger, you kind of wonder what you're going to grow up to be, and being selected as a top 40 under 40 is just the biggest honor that I could ever imagine.
That feeling was shared by Ian Lump, publisher of Business Air magazine and a 2019 top 40 under 40 recipient.
My initial reaction was actually just kind of dumbfounded. I never thought I would be awarded or honored with anything. And then to find out from my peers as we sat in the room, like, hey, you're on the list, I was just in shock. But nothing more humbling than getting praise when you sit back and look at what you've done with your life and take inventory. I think that it meant a lot, obviously, and helped push me in the right direction with other things that I'm working on.
My third guest today is Jamie Munoz, General Manager for Galaxy FBO at Addison Airport near Dallas, and one of NBAA's top 40 under 40 honorees in 2020.
I remember exactly where I was when I got the email, and I was just so excited and humbled. And, I've been in this industry since I was 18 years old, and I love it so much. And I have so much respect for so many people that I've been along this journey with. And to see a lot of them in that same class as me was just even more rewarding. And it was truly just one of the biggest honors of my career.
Do you know who nominated you, Jamie?
One of my mentors had told me that he nominated me, and which, I absolutely love and had so much respect for him and really appreciated that. But I understand now from being on the NBAA YoPro Council that there was probably more that I didn't know who they were, but I did know one person that did nominate me for sure. He's been my mentor for a long time and just said that, he really felt like everything that I had accomplished in my career, he really wanted to nominate me and was very hopeful and keep him posted if I did win. And so it was really awesome to be able to come back to him and say, you know what, I made it.
Erin, do you know who nominated you in 2018 and what compelled them to send in your name?
Well, I didn't find out until after the fact that my general manager, Jonathan Buff, had nominated me. And the way that he described it to me is that he feels that I'm a cheerleader at our organization. I'm someone who gives back to our community. I participate in a lot of tours, letting children come out to the airport and learn about aviation and business aviation as a whole, and an aviation day event that we put on each year that brings out thousands of people to see the airport and learn about it, so that kind of helps our community to understand why this airport is important. And just someone who's not afraid to learn new things and jump in and help out where it's needed. So I think that he saw those qualities in me, the way that he described it, and that it was worthy of a nomination.
What about you, Ian?
I feel like a lot of us probably don't really know until after the fact. Again, it's not something you're really expecting, but I heard from one of my employees and a partner of ours that we work with through Business Air that had put my name in the hat and kind of explained why. I think the biggest reason was just the connections I have within the industry and what I've done with them through my work and what I do professionally, not just working for monetary gain and actually trying to help and change things for the better. Like we'll partner up on different things to shed a light on different charities and organizations that are aviation related. I think that's the biggest thing that I carry with me is not what I did to better myself professionally, but what I did to better the profession.
More of our conversation in just a moment. But first, this word from NBAA.
NBAA Flight Plan listeners, your podcast is ready everywhere. You can download it from iTunes, ask your smart speaker to give you a listen, or hear it in any car with Apple's CarPlay. NBAA Flight Plan, available anytime, anywhere.
We're back now with Aaron Krupp, Jamie Munoz, and Ian Lump, and our conversation about being recognized among NBAA's annual list of Business Aviation's top 40 under 40. And I'd imagine one thing that's really great for all of you about being a past honoree is now looking around and identifying others who you think deserve consideration for this year's list. Ian, what do you look for when you consider nominating someone for similar recognition?
One of the things that I really look for if I were going to put someone in that position, knowing the strength and the award that comes with it, you have to be a good person. Being an advocate of our community and of our industry is super important. So it's always kind of been one of those things like, if you have to ask, maybe right now is not the time. If you think you're doing the right thing and hear a little bit of quiet chatter about it in the background, and you kind of know in the back of your mind, like, yeah, I'm putting my best foot forward. I'm out there doing the work and making people better around me or making the industry better. That's the biggest thing that I look for, because I feel like that's how I earned it. And that's a good way to carry yourself as a ambassador of business aviation.
What about you, Jamie?
So I think really looking at people who are very intentional in how they approach promoting our industry. There's so many people that are under 40 that have amazing resumes, but really going beyond that, it's not just success in your career. It's how do you promote general aviation and how do you spend your time outside of work? Are you active in the community? Are you active in your regional groups? Are you actively trying to promote our industry to younger generations, like Aaron said, and really just educate them on the many opportunities that there are?
I would echo everything that Ian and Jamie just said. It's not just about your career and your personal successes, but again, what you're doing outside of your career, what you're contributing to the industry, and to, be a problem solver. What are you providing in terms of innovation and helping people to better themselves?
How has being part of the inaugural Top 40 Under 40 influenced how you perceive your place in our industry, Aaron?
So for me, being part of 40 Under 40, it really made me realize that everybody has, their own story, their own contributions to the industry, and that it's an opportunity to share that story with others and to inspire them and to share your mistakes too and what you learned from your mistakes. Those are things that anybody can learn from. So I think being a 40 under 40 kind of sets you up to be in some ways a role model, but also, someone that can be humble enough to share those things with others.
Ian, how has this recognition affected how you approach your career?
Being honored as a 40 under 40 in business aviation kind of catapulted me into all sorts of new challenges and things I never thought I would have the opportunity to see or do. I feel like I'm more intentional and think twice about the things that I do. I know our industry has a ton of after-hour events and networking events that people do and enjoy. And, I'm a little bit more direct in how I portray myself and what I do at these things to make sure that I am a role model for the industry. You want to make sure that you're that professional, robust image of what people would think 40 under 40 would be.
Absolutely. I think it's just such a huge motivator just to continue what you're doing and really look for ways to expand on what you've already done in your career and build on that. And just know that people are watching and people recognize your efforts and try to show and be an example for future generations.
Jamie, is there anything else about being part of the 40 Under 40 that you'd like to share, especially to encourage others in our industry to submit their nominations for the 2022 list?
I think one of the most revealing things to me that made me appreciate that award so much more was now that I'm on the NBAA Young Professionals Council, which is the council that actually votes for these nominees, seeing how much work and effort goes into that decision process. Like, it is not a popularity contest by any means. There are so many hours put in by the council to make sure that the nominees that are recognized at base truly are deserving of this award. And for me, seeing the other side of that after I had won my award was just, it made the award so much more precious to me.
Ian, what would you like to share?
You don't have to be perfect to get this award. Just be your best, put your best foot forward, show that you understand or are deserving. For me, the honor of the award kind of elevated my drive to be the best that I can be in everything that I do. So that's what I would echo to whoever is out there listening that wants to get that award at some point in their life. And just continue growing your network and talking to people, doing the right things to let those people know that you're someone that would deserve something of this status. But also let your peers know, like, hey, that's an aspiration of mine. I want to get this. And for those that are thinking of who to recognize, spread the awareness on who you think deserves it as well. Talk to your team. If you know someone stands out in your mind, maybe share that with a couple other people and talk about it. Spread the awareness, share it with the people you know and love, and just watch it grow.
Aaron, what would you like to say to encourage someone who's listening now to nominate their coworker or peer for this year's Top 40 Under 40?
You should just go for it. There's really nothing to be lost by actually submitting someone, and just to be as thorough as possible when it comes to their professional achievements as well as their community service. Those are both big factors that go into the process of evaluating those 40 Under 40 nominations. It doesn't mean that the person has to be the CEO of a company at 35 years old. It just means that they have to be contributing in a positive way to both their company and their industry. As part of the inaugural class of 40 Under 40s and seeing the process kind of evolve over the years, each year the classes, the nominations, they get better and better. Seeing the number of nominations grow, seeing the quality of nominations improve each year, it definitely makes it a very valuable award to receive.
Again, the deadline for nominations for this year's Business Aviation 40 Under 40 is June 10th, so be sure to get your suggestions in now to recognize a YoPro in our industry. Visit nbaa.org/YoPro/40-40 to submit your nomination or to learn more about the program. And that's the latest from the National Business Aviation Association. Remember, you can subscribe to all Flight Plan episodes at Apple Podcasts in the App Store, wherever you find your favorite podcasts, including by asking your virtual assistant or connected device, or download them from nbaa.org. I'm Rob Finfrock. Thanks for listening, and join us next time for a new episode of Flight Plan.